Hello. How y'all doing? Oh, perfect. I didn't rub my cream in good. How y'all doing? What up? Hello. How are you? How y'all doing? Who's in the house? Smash the like button. Smash the like button. It's been helping my videos, so y'all know. It's been helping a little bit. I've been getting some new followers. They say they just happened upon my videos. So thanks to you guys, if you keep smashing the like button, it helps. Good morning to you, Kendra, Rita. Hey, sis. See you in a minute. Hi. I don't know who that is. Hi, Devo. Hi, Terry. Hi, Claudine. How you doing? Ruby, JD, Heaven, Midnight Oil. What up, Julian? How y'all doing today? Hi, Patricia. Hi, Penny. I'll be right back. Tea. Takes a while. Hi, Nora. Well, guys, we have today and then tomorrow, and then the new season comes in. I don't call it New Year's. I call it new seasons because that's what it is, because God has 5 seasons and we have 4. So when you're going into a new year, the Lord told me this, it's a new season. It's a new page in your life. Although there's no time in heaven, our ancestors didn't have calendars. They didn't have days of the week. They didn't even know anything about New Year's, but they knew when the new season came. And who's to say it's really January? Because Julius Augustus Caesar is the one that made the calendar days, all these different holidays. Like Mother's Day came because a lot of Roman soldiers died in the military and they were crying out to the king. So he named it Mother's Day. Same thing with fathers. Wives were crying out and children were crying out because their fathers died in the Romans war. So he gave them Father's Day. And all these other days like Valentine's Day with the baby with the arrow going through it, that's Nimrod. Okay, so Groundhog Day. Really, do you need a Groundhog Day? Do you need a little crummy groundhog to come out of the earth to tell you if you got 6 weeks winter extra or 6 weeks summer? Really, and then when you try to tell the Christians about all these holidays, they're like, well, God don't mind. I'm like, well, have you sat down and had coffee or tea with God to even find that out? And they so busy defending holidays that's not even in the Bible, but they don't even want to celebrate the holidays that's in the Bible. What about the holidays that's in the Bible? A lot of those have been changed too, but at least they're in the Bible, like the Feast of Lights, the Sabbath, what's that one they be having in December? I forget. And then there's feast holidays in April, feast holidays in May, there's some in June and July. You don't hear the Christians talking about them holidays that's actually in the Word of God, but they defend the holidays which are pagan, that's in the pagan Bible of Lucifer. So basically, they Lucifer children, because if you're going to defend pagan holidays that's in Lucifer's Bible, then that means you his child. You don't even know anything about the holidays that's in the Bible. You don't even know how to celebrate them. You don't even do the Sabbath. You don't even know the right day for that. But yet you can defend these Lucifer pagan holidays. But you cannot do the ones that's written in the word, whether they wrong or right. They in the word. But you can celebrate these holidays that ain't nowhere in the word. Nowhere in the word. And all over the world, it's history that tells you it's pagan. So what kind of Christian are you? Are you celebrating the pagan holidays? Are you celebrating the pagan holidays that's in the Bible of Lucifer? Or are you trying to learn to celebrate the holidays that's in the Bible, whether they wrong or right? They in the Bible. They got validity. They in the Bible. You Christians always talk about, oh, your reincarnation don't line up. Yes, it do. In the book of Revelation, y'all tell you if you do right, you make it into heaven. You won't have to go out no more. And then in the book of Matthew, he told him John was already here because Elijah was already here because you beheaded him. And then there's two more. It's one in Daniel's, and I forget what other one is. So yeah, then you try and say, oh, ain't no other worlds. But in the book of Hebrews, I said he died for many children and he died for many worlds. Okay, but yet it ain't in the Bible. Yet what I be preaching ain't in the Bible. But you could go and celebrate these holidays that ain't in the Bible at all, right? And defend them. Talking about God don't mind. You don't even sit down and talk to him. You don't even pray. You don't even ask him nothing. Then you gonna sit up there. How you know the mind of God? You don't even know God. I'm sorry. The preacher part came out. I'm sorry. The preacher part came out. I had a disagreement with my brother over Christmas. He said if the saints of God want to celebrate it for Christ, then God... You need to tell him, God don't honor these pagan holidays. You need to go and get your... You know what? I have a book. I keep forgetting to tell y'all about it. A lot of y'all got it, though. It's called The Truth About Christmas. It's on Barnes and Nobles. I think it might be on Amazon. I'm not sure. But it's definitely on Barnes and Nobles. So if you put my name in Apostle Rosalind Solomon or Rosalind Solomon, because I got books on the Rosalind Solomon and I got books on the Apostle Rosalind Solomon. It got a Santa on it. For real. It got a white Santa on it. It got every pagan holiday in that book and a long explanation and scriptures to prove it is not of God. So if you want to start educating your friends and family, right? See, this is what you need to understand. With these Christians we dealing with today, you got to have some validity. You got to have some meat and potatoes. You got to have some backup. You got to have some ammunition, right? That's why God had me write the book back in 2016. Right? It has holidays in there that you don't even know exist that's celebrated. It has the witches' holidays in there. It has the devil's holidays in there. It has everything in there. All you got to do is go get the book, read it. When you get ready to talk to them, be like, bam! You see this right here? I got proof. I got scriptures. Bam! You know? Or you could go back and buy them the book and let them read it. I've given that book away for free. I don't have it anymore with me, but I've given that book away for free, or I've told people to go and get it, and they will come back to me. They'll be like, wow, everything you said is true, and it lines up. You got scriptures. That's right, meat and potato. With these Christians, you got to have a serious meal. You got to have meat and potatoes. You can't even have no vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Because vegetables is good and all, but they kind of light. You got to have something heavy like potatoes, mashed potatoes, some Salisbury steak, some meatloaf, some filet mignon. You know, you got to have this heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some chicken ammunition. Like, not just pieces of chicken. You got to have a whole piece of chicken. And even add some stuffing in there, right? So it can stick to them. So go and get the book. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon because I forget. But I know it's on Barnes & Nobles. And you just go there and put in Apostle Rosalind Solomon books. If you don't see it under there, go back and put Rosalind Solomon books. It's right there. Y'all need to go and get that book and read it. So when you talk to your family, see, like when you be talking to them, they be looking at you like, where's your proof? Where's your meat and potatoes? Where's your chicken ammunition with stuffing in it? Where is it? Where's scriptures? You know what I'm saying? So you need to go and get that. That's right. Bring him the beef, John. I tried to tell him, but I gave him resources to research, but he didn't want to. He just kept saying things like God knows our heart. Yeah, that's a foolish Christian. I'm sorry. I hate to say he's foolish, but what the Bible said about the foolish version, it was 10, right? 5 was wise, 5 was foolish, right? the wise ones bought enough oil. They like, yo, we better bring some triple oil up in this mug, because you know what I'm saying, we gotta burn this. We waiting for the bride. We don't know when he coming, so we gotta be ready. We gotta have enough. Here go the other foolish bride. You know what? Oh man, it's like 9 o'clock, man. Looking at their watch, it's like 9 o'clock. The oil store is closed. Yo, what we gonna do? And it's like, well, you know what? The mother fire got extra oil, so ours ran out. We gonna borrow theirs. They got food, right? Their oil ran out. What happened? They went to the other ones that had the oil, and they was like, we ain't giving you this because we need this. We don't want to miss the bride. So they was like, okay, let's go find a store, right? So they went to the store. And by the time they came back, the bride had came, swooped up the other 5, married them, locked the chamber door. They couldn't even get in. Why? Foolish. Had the truth before them. Had the opportunity to go and get the oil. Did they do it? No. Foolishness. Right? So your brother is a foolish bride or groom. And all you could do is pray for him. You tell a person the truth once. They either eat it and drink it, or they vomit it out, right? So if they vomit it out, what do? You just pray. You can't force them, because if you try to force them, that's witchcraft. So you just pray. If they eat it and drink it and they digest it and keep it, then you help them. You maintenance them until they get on their footings of their own where they can handle themselves. That's all you can do. What up, Alicia? Hi, Mama Lena. All right, so let me give you these little bit. Y'all know Daddy be talking a lot to me, and at the end of the year. But, this year, he just been talking a whole bunch. He been talking. Oh, yeah, I had a dream about Trump again. I forgot to tell y'all. Oh, he was all dirty and grimy. Like, y'all remember the other vision I had about him? He was being all devilish and stuff, and I looked at him and I said, you the devil. And he started laughing at me, right, when I said it, right? I seen him. He was all grimy and dirty, Trump. And Daddy said that he was going to lose his validity and power before 2022 is out, right? And I asked God, I said, God, why people keep saying he gonna be president again when you say he not? And why people keep saying he gonna be back in the White House before the next 2 years when you say he not, and that's impossible. And then he was quiet, right? And I said, well, maybe, guys, I'm thinking maybe somebody in his family may run, either his son, his daughter, a cousin, a uncle, a auntie, a good friend, a cousin. I think it's gonna be somebody that's related to him, either blood-wise or, and some type of connection to him may run, because too many prophets, like these big, well-known prophets, are saying God told them Trump gonna get back in office before Biden is finished. Now, that's a lot, because Trump can never get back in office. When something happened to Biden, Camilla's next, right? God forbid, something happened to her, Nancy Pelosi's next. If something happened to her, Chuck Schumer is next. Something happened to him, somebody else is in the line. So Trump would never, ever be able to get back in the White House while the Democrats are in there right now, right? So when it's time to run again, I'm thinking they must be sensing that it's a family member or someone connected to him outside of the family, like may run and become the primary runner. That's the only thing to think of. And every time I ask God this, I'll be like, God, well, are they saying like a family member or someone connected to him? He get real quiet, he don't say nothing. And when he does that to me, he don't want me to ask him anymore. So I don't ask him anymore. So I'm just saying this out of my own self, out of my own spirit, that it could be a relative or someone who's very connected to him that may run. And maybe that's why they're seeing the spirit of Trump, because he ain't going to be president again. He may be president of something else or maybe another country, but not in America. Not in America. No. And any prophet telling you that God said he gonna be in the White House, he gonna replace Joe Biden, because Joe Biden got 3 more years left. You know what I'm saying? That's a lie from the pit of hell, because it's like 6, 7 other people that will be taking that position when he out of it. If he get out of it, well, I seen it that he gonna be gone. Unless people out there praying for us, but he's dead. Because how many of y'all know when you give a prophecy And people, the reason for prophecy is to edify and to warn, right? So when a prophet warns you about something and then you go and pray, like I had a vision about Kelly Clarkson, what's her name? Come on, ABC, back in 2018, it was on the news, biggest that she died. And a lot of y'all prayed for her because a lot of y'all like her. Here we is 2 years later. But you need to understand something. Like I saw Joan Rivers dying. I saw that comedian Robin Williams leaving, right? Joan Rivers didn't die till a year and a half later. And Robin Williams, he actually died a year later. So sometimes when you see somebody passing away, it doesn't always mean it's going to be right then and there. Then it also could mean that they're dead spiritually because, you know, people get cloned all the time. So it could mean that they're dead spiritually and that the one we're seeing is may not be the real one. So it could either be that or they're slated to pass, but the time has not come yet, or because people are praying for them. And how many of you know, whether you a clone or not, or whether you inhuman or not, if you got human people praying for these kind of people, how many of you know God will answer that? Why? Because it says God answers the prayers of the righteous. Now, will you be judged for that in front of y'all later on when it's your day of reckoning? Probably. You know? So when somebody gives you a word, like I had plenty of people around me in my family, my own son, you know, I told him that the Lord said, if you don't get yourself together, the enemy's going to try and take your life. Sure enough, 6 months later, he was in the hospital with blood poisoning back in 2017, and God saved him, right? My other daughter, I told her, God said, if you don't get right, the enemy's going to try and cripple you. She was in a car accident and broke her left leg and left arm, and he had crippled her, lost her job, everything. She went down. If it wasn't for her mama, if it wasn't for God using her mama and her daddy, where would she be? You know what I'm saying? So, and then I've had friends where I've seen them die in car accidents. I had one ex-boyfriend. I saw him die in a car accident that September. What was it? 2011. And I saw a deer coming out somewhere, and he didn't see it, and he hit it, and he died. So I prayed for him, right? He got right with God immediately, right? Don't you know that accident still happened, but did not kill him? What? Then guess what, guys? 2012, September 2012, I saw another vision of him down in a car accident again. He had left God, fornicating everything, right? Called him and told him. He came back to God again. He had the accident, totaled the car, didn't die. Now, I ain't seen him since, so I don't know how he doing. I ain't seen him or talked to him since 2015. So I don't even know if he's still alive. You know, I pray he is, you know. Like his brother, he had a brother that was so far from God. And I kept having two other brothers. I kept having dreams about one of them. And I went to him. I told him, I said, I keep seeing something tragically happening to you. And God said, you got to give your life to him. He kept saying, oh, yeah. He got into an accident and lost a leg. He had to walk with a prosthetic. So he realized what I said came to pass. And through his mother, right there in the hospital bed, he gave his life to Christ. And after that, for a few years, he was okay, but I don't know how he's doing because I haven't seen any of them since 2015. So I pray they're still alive, and I pray they're still with God. Now, his other brother was a bishop, right? And he had a church, a big old church in East Orange, New Jersey. Kept having dreams he was going to die. I kept seeing that he was a homosexual. So I went to my ex-boyfriend, and I was like, you need to tell your brother that he need to stop being a homosexual. And he looked at me. He was like, oh my gosh, I knew it. He suspected it, but he didn't know. I said, and he pretended to be a bishop, a man of God with that big old church, praying and stuff. And he's down low homosexual. And his mother know it because they had different mothers. I said, his mother know it. She just be taking up for him. So he told his brother. And he said his brother didn't say nothing, right? That's what God did. I was in the supermarket maybe a couple months later. His brother was in the supermarket. So I went up to him, talked to him, hugged him. And I was like, Alvin told me the word that he gave you from the Lord. And I'm here to tell you, I'm the one that told him to give you the word. I'm the one that saw the vision, and God told me. And he was very humble, and he told me he received it. And I told him that day, I said, God said you got 2 years to get yourself right. You got 2 years to confess what you have in secret and repent, and he'll clean you up. He won't take your church or nothing. But if you don't do it in 2 years, he's going to let the devil take your life. Do you know that man died exactly 2 years later? Me and my middle daughter was sitting in the State Street Grill in Bloomfield, New Jersey, about to eat. Why I'll come up in there with all his family, about to eat. And he was shocked to see me. And I was shocked to see him. He was like, Rosalind, you said he was going to die in 2 years if he didn't get right. He dead. That's why we all here. I was like, oh my gosh. So he never confessed and he never got right. He died exactly 2 years. Look at Bishop Eddie Long. Didn't I tell y'all on my old channel? God gave him 2 years. And if he didn't get right, he was going to put him on his deathbed, make him sick, give him cancer. And he died of cancer. And put him on his bed to make him repent. And he made it in a wing of the prayer. So when God tells me or shows me somebody's going to die, it doesn't always mean it's going to happen right then and there, right? And then if you pray for them, like that other basketball player, that Odoms guy, I saw him being sacrificed, right? But people loved him so much, they was like rebuking me and everything, and they prayed for him, and he's still alive. But guess what? I said if he lived, he would have nothing but trouble. And he was going to keep going back to them drugs. How many of y'all remember that? And he has had nothing but trouble, and he keeps going back to those drugs. So prophecy came to pass. He lived because y'all prayed for him. But that's not to say that he still might not go, because he still ain't close to God. So when the prophet tell you that they saw or they heard from the Lord, they're not putting death on anybody. They're just telling you because you need to pray. God is warning so you could pray that person's soul get right with God. Because a lot of the famous folks are human. A lot of them ain't cloned and stuff. So a lot are human. So he wants them too. He created them, right? So next time you hear prophets say they had a vision or a dream, or they heard God say so-and-so is going to die, or sports players, like I saw sports players leaving this earth, and already some is leaving. But next year it's going to be a lot. I seen celebrities leaving. I seen it, right? So it's not putting death on them. It's warning you. And then you pray and you be like, Father, whoever human, whoever you created, and whoever you want in your kingdom, I pray to survive. The ones that's not human, I can't do nothing about that. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you pray. You don't be like, oh, you said a year ago or 3 or 5 years ago, so-and-so is going to die. You're a false prophet. No, that's not being a false prophet. I or anybody else that give you those kind of prophecies, those are warnings for you to pray, for me to pray, that the person lives. So you should be thanking God that the prophecy did not come to pass. Because I keep telling y'all, prophecy is subject to man, and man is subject to prophecy. I'm going to say it again. Prophecy is subject to man, and man is subject to prophecy. So what that means is this: you can stop your prophecy and you can get your prophecy going. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tell you about to die because you don't get right with God. Guess how you stop it? You get right with God, and you stay that way. You stay that way. And if God going to warn you twice like he did people in my life, that means he really loved them and he really want them. I've seen people in caskets. Like my old landlord, I'll never forget, this was 2008. I saw him in a casket, dead as a doornail. I ran downstairs to knock on his door because he lived in the house on the first floor. But the woman he was living with said he was in the backyard cutting down tree trunk. And as soon as he come in, she going to tell him and then come upstairs and get me so I could tell him. I said, I saw him in the coffin. He had a heart attack. Guess what? The same day, cutting trees, had a heart attack. If they hadn't got him to the hospital in the time they did, he'd be dead. So when he got out the hospital, he got better. He came and he thanked me because by me telling him, she prayed and then I prayed. Now, what if God did, what if I didn't open my mouth to her Or what if I didn't pray? He be dead and his blood be on my hands. I saw my other landlord when I was living in Montclair. I saw he was going to die too. He was going to die real fast, like in 12 months. Do you know that man got brain cancer? He was going in 12 months, and I seen him go to the pit of hell. I seen him go to the abyss with my own eyes. I seen it. I tell you, sure, my name is Rosalind Solomon, the Most High God. I seen it. I ain't never seen nobody walking to the pit. I saw him walking to the pit, and he had the nerve to close the door and slam it, so I couldn't go in there to try and get him out. He died. And then this man, he very famous. He used to come on the Word Network. I forget his name. He came to my friend church because they had a big church up in Montclair. He had been there for 5 weeks, right? And when I found out he was there, I was telling everybody in my church in Montclair, y'all need to come with me to see this man because he doing miracles. This dude lived across the street from me that I was familiar with. He was from Africa. He could never get a job. I took him there. I told him, I said, that man gonna help you get a job. I took him there. That man prayed for him. You know, he got a job. He had got a job. My auntie Judy, I miss her so much. I gotta go see her. She had some issues with her. I forget what they was. I took her. He touched her belly. She vomited something up. Never had a problem again. I literally saw him grow people feet even, legs even. One of the guys had a tumor. He went to the doctor, brought the x-ray back, tumor was gone. I forget his name. He called my children's name straight out, told me what was going to happen with them. He told me my ministry was going to be worldwide, famous, big, huge ministry. Millions of people was going to flock to it. I guess it's coming soon. All right, so and then what else did he do? I was just taking a lot of people there, right? But my landlord, the one that I told you that died of brain cancer 12 months later. The Lord said, I want you to go over there and invite him to come with you to the service tonight. Because he was having the service every night. And I wouldn't do it because I kept telling God, he going to reject me, Daddy. Let me tell you what happened. The dude upstairs from me, he must have applied for a rental assistant, right? From the Red Cross. Why the mailman put his check in my box, right? So I went upstairs to give him the check. He wasn't there. God said, take it across the street to your landlord. So I took it across the street and I gave it to him. And God was like, now's your chance. So I told him about it. You know what he told me? Because he was Jewish. He was like, well, if God want to heal me, he'll heal me. I'm looking at him like, he wants you to go. He didn't want to go. So when he died and I told his daughter about it, she cried. She was like, why didn't you tell me? I said, I ain't had your phone number. She was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have forced him to go. She believed me that he would live, right? And then when I became a minister, he laughed at me. Him and his daughter had came over to my house because they was doing an inspection because they had to get certified again for the house. And I was on my laptop doing something, and he was like, what are you doing, Rosa? Because I was real cool with him. And I was like, oh, I was going to Ames International Bible School at that time. I said, I'm going to Bible school, and I'm becoming a minister. He started laughing. He said, yeah, you a minister? Yeah, right. And then I said to him, one day you're going to need me to pray for you. And his daughter said, absolutely. Do you know I prayed for him when God showed me he was going to die? Do you know he died 12 months later of brain cancer? Then my neighbor across the street, same thing. God said, go over there and tell him he going to be in a wheelchair. And then if that don't get him right, he going to die. Why go over there and tell him he going to be in a wheelchair? Why was he in a wheelchair 3 months later, right? Then God kept telling me for a whole week, go over there and pray to him. Go over there and preach to him. He about to die. The day I went to go over there to preach to him, which was the 7th day, he died. I went over there. He just had died that night. Oh, I had to repent. Then I had this other friend named Frenchie. Back in, 2003, 2004, we used to date, but we dated periodically. And then we became neighbors and good friends, right? His name was Frenchie. He was becoming an up-and-coming music producer, right? Because he was working with me for music, right? And he was allergic to shellfish. I saw him dying. I saw him eating something that killed him. God kept telling me, go over there and tell him. Every time I went over there, his mama was like, he ain't here. So I didn't tell her. I didn't think to tell her about the vision, right? The final day I went to go and tell him, she came to the door crying, said he died of shellfish. He ate that, I forget what you call it, but paella. It has different types of fish in it. And they were supposed to take the shellfish out, and maybe they did. And you know how sometimes they leave residue in there, like the claws or something. But anyway, it swelled up a store. He died. I had to repent about him. I had to repent about him. So when I tell you guys, I see somebody passing or I see celebrity, and y'all already know this because it's been proven. Y'all have seen it. You know, names calling out, names not calling out. You know, but when you hear this prophet of the Most High say to you that I seen somebody dying, you best believe it's going to happen to them if they don't get right with God. If they don't get right. And everybody has a set limit. Somebody, you can see somebody dying and the time to die may not be for 4 years. You know, like I kept seeing Beyonce dying, right? And then God finally came to me in 2015. And he said that if she don't get right by December 2016, she was going to be dead. I didn't know he meant spiritually, because then I started having all these visions. She wasn't who she is anymore. I saw her as the Queen of the Coast. I saw her as a mermaid. Everything. I told y'all that. And then a lot of y'all had visions too. I had thousands of hits where people was like on my old channel had the same kind of visions, right? So he was showing me she's going to be spiritually dead. Right? She wasn't gonna be no more. It was gonna be somebody totally different. You know what I mean? And I saw her being cloned. Y'all know that. I saw it. And I described her to y'all everything. And somebody went and found the picture. And it's like, oh my gosh, Apostle, look at this. Prophecy come to pass. You know? So pay attention to look, I'm not bragging or being facetious, right? But y'all need to pay attention to me when I get y'all words. Look, I just told y'all while I was sitting home nursing my teeth, God showing me visions and giving me stuff about tornadoes, storms, cold weather, hot weather. Look, I called out Louisiana and other states, and look what happened. They had tornadoes. What? I called out North Georgia. Look what happened, right? I told you about the cold in the west, in the northwest. What? Okay. So y'all need to stop joking with a sister. And y'all need to pay attention to a sister. Because this prophet of God right here, I ain't being facetious nor conceited. But I am an accurate prophet. And I do not lie to you. And I do not prophet lie to you. Right? And I don't be trying to steal nobody's stuff. I be waiting on God. And if I hear stuff from somebody else, I go and ask him if it's true. And then I come and tell y'all. And I'll tell you if somebody else said it. And then sometimes he'll give me stuff to go with it. So when I give you a word from the Most High or any kind of wisdom, I understand if you don't want to believe it or accept it, because that's your prerogative. But you need to think about it. Because he has proven that I'm one of his most accurate prophets on the planet. I ain't being conceited or facetious. I'm just telling you the truth. Because he got a lot of accurate prophets out here on YouTube, Facebook, and the church. Famous, non-famous. But I am one of them. And he was talking to me the other day. He was like, Rosalind, they be playing with you. They don't take you seriously when you tell them these things. But yet the things keep coming to pass. I don't understand. He even told me that his prophets on these platforms that listen to me in secret and go and say these things as if he told them. And they get thousands of hits. Ain't that something? They have built their platform on my words. Well, daddy's words. But what can I do? They daddy's words. You know, I can't hate on somebody because they taking my word.